In this video, we will discuss the major highlights of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India. We will look at the outcome of the 23rd Annual Summit between India and Russia. We will also see which agreements were signed. Let's discuss everything one by one in simple language and in a point-wise manner. First, bilateral and multilateral cooperation. India and Russia's strategic partnership has completed 25 years. To keep the relationship strong and steady, India has opened new consulates in two important Russian cities. These two cities are Yekaterinburg and Kazan. Yekaterinburg is the gateway to Siberia and is an industrially significant city. It is often called Russia's third capital. Kazan is Russia's most visited city after Moscow and St. Petersburg. This is the same city where the 2024 BRICS summit was held. By opening consulates in these two important cities, India has expanded its diplomatic footprint in Russia. This step will strengthen the ties between both countries. During Vladimir Putin's visit, both nations welcomed this move. Russia supported India's demand for a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. Russia also showed interest in joining initiatives like the International Solar Alliance and the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, which India welcomed. This means clean energy and climate resilience were promoted. Both countries agreed to increase cooperation within the G20 grouping. India's efforts as the voice of the Global South were appreciated. Both sides also discussed strengthening BRICS. India will chair BRICS in 2026. Russia expressed full support for this. There were also agreement on stronger cooperation within the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This includes jointly tackling issues like terrorism, separatism, drug trafficking, organized crime, and cybercrime. There was also agreement on working together in important global areas such as reforming global financial institutions, strengthening global supply chains, tackling the climate crisis, and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Both nations committed to protecting biodiversity and endangered species, especially the conservation of migratory birds that connect both countries. Thus, the summit gave us signals of increasing cooperation not only at the bilateral level but also at the multilateral level. Second, economic cooperation. Even in today's unpredictable and complex geopolitical environment, India and Russia's ties remain resilient. Economic cooperation between the two countries is an important pillar of these resilient ties. To further strengthen this economic cooperation, India and Russia have adopted Program 2030. Under this, both countries will expand their economic cooperation in the next 5 years. In this summit, India and Russia set a target to increase their bilateral trade to $100 billion in the next 5 years. An agreement on the mobility of skilled workers was also signed. This will allow working professionals from both countries to move and work in each other's countries more easily. Both countries are exploring joint ventures in the food security sector. Fertilizers are crucial for food security. Russia is a major global supplier of fertilizers. So, a partnership with Russia will help India secure its long-term fertilizer supply. Both countries will also increase cooperation in Russia's Far East region. Russia's Far East is a very resource-rich region, but it is highly underdeveloped. Both countries will collaborate there. This will be a mutually beneficial scenario. Russia will get a dependable long-term partner like India to develop its eastern region, and India will get access to Russia's resources. In the joint declaration released after the summit, India and Russia agreed that the global trading system should be inclusive, transparent, and non-discriminatory. Can you tell in the comment section which country this message was directed at? Third, connectivity. Both countries understood that to boost trade between them, it is necessary to improve connectivity, fix logistic bottlenecks, smoothen payment mechanisms, and remove trade barriers. Taking a step in this direction, both countries decided to develop systems that will help enable trade in national currencies. Interoperability between national payment systems will be enhanced. Every possible effort will be made to protect India-Russia trade from global financial disruptions and to ensure uninterrupted transactions between the two countries. For this, both countries will also work on financial messaging frameworks. As far as connectivity is concerned, Cooperation will be deepened on major connectivity corridors such as the International North-South Transport Corridor, the Chennai-Vladivostok Maritime Route, and the Northern Sea Route. INSTC connects India to Russia and Europe through Iran and Central Asia. The Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor reduces shipping time across the Indo-Pacific. The Northern Sea Route is an important Arctic shipping route that reduces travel time between Europe and Asia. Specialists will be trained to operate ships in polar waters. An MOU has been signed for crew training to navigate in the Arctic. This will help India in polar research and in developing new shipping routes. Cooperation will also be increased between Indian and Russian railways. Strengthening transport links is essential for ensuring economic stability. This importance was highlighted in the summit. With improved connectivity, both countries will be able to protect their long-term strategic interests. They will also be able to increase cooperation in sectors such as energy, critical raw minerals, precious stones, and metals. Fourth, energy cooperation. Energy cooperation is a very important pillar of the partnership between India and Russia. So, both countries agreed that any problems being faced by investors in the energy sector will be resolved as soon as possible. Because India and Russia are deeply integrated in the energy sector. If this sector is affected, then the impact will be seen on both economies. Both countries will increase collaboration in areas like oil and petroleum products, refining technologies, petrochemicals, LNG, and LPG infrastructure, and will remove upcoming hurdles. Both countries will also expand their cooperation in the nuclear energy sector. The shining example of India-Russia nuclear energy cooperation is the Kudankulam nuclear power plant. This nuclear power plant, located in Tamil Nadu, is India's largest nuclear power station. Both countries welcome the progress of this plant, built with Russia's help. India wants to increase its nuclear capacity to 100 gigawatts by 2047. For this, cooperation with partners like Russia is essential. In this direction, another site in India will be identified for a Russia-designed nuclear plant. Through cooperation with Russia, India will get opportunities for joint research and the development of nuclear power plants. Localization of manufacturing will be undertaken. This will make India an important part of the nuclear manufacturing and technology chain. Fifth, defense relationship. The defense sector has been one of the most important pillars of India-Russia relations. Military and military technical cooperation between India and Russia is not a new development. This partnership has strengthened over decades of trust, joint efforts, and technology sharing. It would not be wrong to say that defense is one of the strongest pillars of this special and privileged strategic partnership between India and Russia. In this summit, both countries agreed to maintain regular contacts between their militaries and to continue joint exercises. Regular exercises like Indra and Zapad will continue between India and Russia. Collaboration will continue across major platforms such as the S-400, submarines, and frigates. Since India is moving towards self-reliance in defense, it will no longer limit itself to only buying equipment from Russia. Instead, it will move forward in the direction of joint research, co-development, and co-production. By collaborating with Russia, India will gain access to advanced defense technology and systems, which will help India build a strong defense industry. Through technology transfer and manufacturing in India, the country will be able to ensure an uninterrupted supply of spare parts and components for its Russian origin defense systems. This means the India-Russia buyer-seller relationship will upgrade into a joint development partnership. Not only this, India will also be able to export jointly manufactured equipment to friendly third countries. This is a major achievement for India's defense diplomacy. Sixth, security cooperation. Both countries reaffirmed their commitment to preventing the spread of weapons of mass destruction. Russia supported India's membership in the Nuclear Suppliers Group. Russia also promoted important issues such as preventing nuclear proliferation, strengthening the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention, and preventing an arms race in outer space. Both sides committed to fighting terrorism without double standards. They committed to preventing online radicalization and extremist content. The Crocus City Hall attack in Russia in March 2024 and the Pahalgam attack in India in April 2025 were condemned. A call was made for concerted global action against all UN-listed terrorist groups, from Al-Qaeda to ISIS. Safe havens for terrorists, terror financing, and cross-border movement of terrorists were described as criminal acts that cannot be justified. No motive and no ideology can be an excuse for such actions. The reference was clearly towards countries like Pakistan that use terrorism for geopolitical convenience and hidden agendas. The joint declaration of the summit clearly stated that governments will have the primary responsibility in the fight against terrorism. No compromise will be made and no selective approach will be accepted. Double standards on terrorism will not be accepted. A zero-tolerance policy will be adopted. Both countries agreed that the long-pending Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism at the United Nations should be finalized urgently. 7th, education, science and technology cooperation. Science, technology and innovation are extremely vital for the future. Therefore, both countries will ramp up cooperation across government agencies, universities and the private sector. They will collaborate in the sector of critical and emerging technologies. Critical minerals are the backbone of today's advanced manufacturing. Batteries, electric vehicles, electronic equipment, and defense technology all require critical minerals and rare earths. Therefore, Russia and India will increase cooperation in the exploration, processing, and recycling of critical minerals. Global competition for rare earths is intensifying, so both countries want to work together to secure stable supply chains. India and Russia also want to expand their ties in education and research. They want to build a long-term knowledge partnership through intellectual and academic cooperation. Engagement between experts, think tanks, and policy institutes of both countries will be increased, which will strengthen the strategic partnership. Another flagship area of India-Russia friendship is space cooperation. The partnership between India's ISRO and Russia's Roscosmos is growing. Both countries will collaborate for the peaceful uses of outer space. They will work together in human spaceflight programs. They will collaborate in areas such as satellite navigation and planetary exploration. They will also cooperate in the development and production of rocket engines. This important partnership will enhance the space capabilities of both countries. 8th, culture and tourism cooperation. Cultural exchanges are not a side activity in the special and privileged strategic partnership between India and Russia. They are an essential part of it. Artists, writers, and cultural groups from both countries have been participating in each other's events for many years. In this summit, both countries agreed to deepen their cultural exchanges. One cultural exchange festival will be hosted by India, and the next one will be hosted by Russia. In this way, cultural connections will be strengthened. Both countries also showed interest in expanding cooperation in the film industry. Joint film production and participation in major film festivals will be encouraged. These initiatives will make collaboration easier for the film industries of both countries. This will open new markets and create deeper cultural understanding. Tourism is also becoming a powerful link between the two countries. It is steadily increasing. To maintain this momentum, both countries will simplify visa procedures. An e-visa has been introduced for this purpose. This will ensure smoother travel, stronger cultural exchanges, and deeper people-to-people ties. Finally, cooperation on other regional issues was also discussed. Regional issues from Afghanistan to West Asia were discussed in the summit. The Afghanistan crisis was discussed. Both sides agreed to provide uninterrupted humanitarian assistance to the Afghan people. Counter-terrorism actions against terror groups such as ISIS and ISKP were welcomed. In West Asia, both countries committed to regional peace and stability. In the Israel-Hamas war, the protection of civilians, adherence to international law, and the need for restraint were highlighted. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza was emphasized. It was stated that unilateral actions destabilize the region. The resolution of Iran's nuclear issue through dialogue was supported. At the end, President Putin thanked Prime Minister Modi for the warm hospitality he received in India. He invited Prime Minister Modi to the 24th India-Russia Annual Summit that will take place in Russia next year. India and Russia's steady partnership sparked strong trolling of US President Donald Trump on social media. Former Pentagon official Michael Rubin even said that Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for bringing India and Russia closer. Without any doubt, damaging relations with India was one of the biggest blunders of the Trump administration. In any case, the all-weather relationship between India and Russia remains strong. After President Putin's visit, the cooperation between the two countries will continue to grow. These were the major outcomes of the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. I hope you found this session useful. Thank you for your time.